Have you ever set yourself up with a goal that you didn't follow through on? Or even worse, have you actually found a goal, followed through, and then found yourself at a place that you really didn't want to be? Raise your hand if that's true for you. Well, today I'd like to bust the myth around goal setting. If you're one of those people who's super clear on what you want and where you want to go and all the things that you want in life, you can skip this one. But for all the rest of us who actually aren't so clear, you're the kind of person I want to talk to. If you're feeling a little fuzzy around what you're wanting to do, and man, have I ever been there many times? This is normal. This is a normal state of being. In fact, it's really abnormal to know exactly what we want and to set clear goals and clear expectations for ourselves. We've all been told that the way to be successful, like the sure path to success, is to set goals. And it's okay if you believe this, because this is what every thought leader on the planet has been telling us. They say you have to be really clear.
The most important word that I have found in success is clarity. Clarity. Successful people are very clear about what they want.
You have to take careful aim.
One of the things you can be virtually certain of in life is that you don't get something you don't aim at. But you make your goals sharp and clear. Then, well, first of all, then you know what to aim at.
You have to write down your goals.
You want to write it down and write it down daily. You want to schedule the time and the place that you're going to take action and have a backup plan.
I want to bust this myth wide open. Honestly, it's okay not to be clear. The ideas that I'm sharing with you today came from a book called Risk Forward by Victoria Labalme. I had a chance to interview Victoria, and what she was talking about was this whole concept of being in the fog. As creative people, as people who have lots of ideas stirring in our head, a lot of the time we just have an idea. It's just the bare beginning of something that we feel drawn towards. And when you have that kind of inkling, you probably are not in a place where you're super clear and you're super motivated to go like, oh yes, I know exactly that this is the thing for me. And it's okay. You want to give yourself permission to move forward, to risk forward, to take the risk that even though you don't know, even though you are not clear, you're willing to take that risk, to lean forward and be drawn into these ideas that you have that light you up. And this is the key. Go inside, feel what feels good to you, figure out your intuition, get that feeling. Like, what does it feel like? If this concept, this idea, this thing that you're thinking about, if it lights you up, then take the next step. And as long as you are feeling that it is lighting you up, as long as you are feeling that you are moving in the direction that you want to move, this is the way that you can find success. Think back to some time in your life when you actually did something great, like you thought was great, or you achieved something that was really fabulous. Remember that probably that thing didn't have a goal. Like, you didn't sit down at the beginning of it and set yourself a goal. You just got lit up by something that you really went after and you found your way. And maybe it meandered and maybe it went up and down and maybe it wasn't clear along the way, but you still got there because you were moving on your intuition and you were, in Victoria's term, risking forward.
If each of us thinks back on our lives and some of the best experiences we've had, if I were to ask you to say, what are the top 3 or 5 experiences, I would venture to guess that not all of them were the result of a goal you set. They were the result of following that wisp, that creative current, that inner line of wisdom, and following it to where it led you. As I say later in the book, under the myth of goals, don't let goals get in the way of your life.
Okay, so how exactly can you do this? Well, I want to share with you one of the activities, one of the ideas that I got from the Risk Forward book. This is really simple, and anyone can do this. When you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to go do something, and I'm going to bring it right down to something very concrete, like when you go to make a video, or when you're going to post any kind of content, like in all of your content marketing, and you're sitting down and you're coming up with ideas like, what could I talk about? What does my audience want to hear from me? All of these kinds of things. And usually in that moment, you'll have a lot of ideas, and you won't necessarily know which one you should go on, like which direction you should go. In this process, you can sit down, you can do this by yourself, but it's actually better done with a friend. So with a friend, sit down with a bunch of index cards. First of all, just do a brain dump. Like every time you come up with an idea, one little idea, write it on the card. And then idea number 2, write it on the card. And just put these cards, lay them all around on the floor, spread them out, and just capture all the ideas that come to you. And you can do this over like just 10 or 15 minutes. Write a bunch of ideas down so that now you have a collection. Now pick up all those cards, put them in a deck, and give them to your friend. Have your friend shuffle the deck and then hold the cards behind their back. One at a time, bring one of those cards out in front of you so you can read it, and then have them look at your response. So if you read an idea and your eyebrows go up and your eyes get bigger and you start to smile, or you just start to feel good about that idea, put it in the good pile. Pull out another card, and if you kind of go, meh, I don't know, put it in the maybe pile. And if your friend pulls out a card and you look at it and you go, oh no, and you feel your chest sinking and you get a little frown on your forehead, put that card in the nope pile. So when you're done, you can go to the pile that lit you up. Spread them out on the floor, take a look at all the different ideas, and you'll see patterns. And sometimes there'll be a really great idea that lit you up, but it doesn't fit with the pattern. So you can say, well, this is a good idea, but it doesn't fit right now. So let me look at these other ones. And in the patterns of these ideas, you'll find 2 or 3 or 4 ideas that will actually fit together. And this is where you can start getting direction. And this is where you can start leaning into and say, oh, okay, these are the things that light me up. These are the things that work together. This is what I'm going to go with. And then figure out, okay, so what's the next step for me to act on these ideas? And then take that step. So all of this requires a few things. First of all, it requires some faith and belief in yourself, that you know and you can trust yourself to know when something feels right. The second part of this is that instead of setting goals, set your intentions, and set intentions based on values. Like, what do you value? What do you believe? What are the things that matter to you? So ask yourself questions like, what kind of a life do I want to live? What kind of a person do I want to be when I'm living my life? How do I want to show up in the world? How do I want to relate to people? When you're answering those questions and you're doing it relative to whatever project you're working on or whatever activity you're going after, those things will help direct you. They will help tell you and inform you that you are on the right path. And so when you started out and you were unclear, you will start to get moments of clarity based on how you feel. So my main takeaway is let go of the idea of goal setting. Let go of the idea that you always have to be super clear of where you're going. What you're doing now and the direction that you're going in now is probably not the same direction that you will be going in the future. Things will come up, things will get in your way, things will redirect you, you'll change your mind, you'll be diverted by one thing or another. And all of that is okay. We are on this great adventurous exploration that we call life. And if we limit ourselves by the few little goals that we happen to write down, we won't know necessarily that we're doing the thing that we're really here to do. Instead of looking for clarity all the time and beating yourself up when you don't know, like when you don't feel like you're super clear, just breathe into it, relax, trust your intuition, and go with the things that light you up. Go with the things that help you be in the world as the person who you're meant to be.